Hello everyone, I am Paramita Mukherjee and have been working as an English teacher for over 2 decades teaching the high school students. I had done my bachelor's in commerce followed by master's in English. I also have a bachelor in education degree which is mandatory in case you want to become a teacher. Based on my experiences, I have shared my philosophy of teaching as well as the components required to create a good lesson plan. I hope you'll all find this video useful and relevant, especially those who are passionate about becoming a teacher. Thank you. Hello everyone. Today I'd like to share my teaching philosophy with you all. I'm an educator and I don multiple hats of a mentor, resource person, coach, guide, and counselor. My teaching philosophy is based on the concept that every child is different, unique, and is talented. We as mentors have to uncover the talent and help them reach their full potential. Being a teacher, I'm responsible in building a vital relationship of trust, love, and care with my students and nurture them to their full potential. I create confident students through experiential learning and teamwork. I ensure that my classroom environment is so positive and every child is treated equally and with respect. To achieve my teaching and learning goals, I have my strategies in place. I make learning fun with quizzes, puzzles, presentations. Yet I am firm when referring to deadlines, discipline, and rules. I encourage feedback of my lesson and how it could have been made more better. I reinforce that students should not be disheartened with failure. Rather, they should learn from it and treat it as a stepping stone to success. I believe that to keep students motivated, I need to have a well-planned a lesson plan based on the curriculum, using the multiple intelligence theory to address the needs of the learners. I believe that inquiry-based learning will encourage active lessons, discussions, and collaboration work, and when technology too is embraced, it is an integrated in the environment. For proper class management, I believe that we should develop and reinforce the classroom rules and norms, promote positive peer relationships, and nurture positive relationships with all the students. For cognitive development, all the basic skills of all the subjects should be taught with experiential learning, collaborative work, and related activities. Teaching life skills should happen side by side, as it is what will help the students to handle their life issues better. Assessment happens after the 5 A's of knowledge sharing is done, like absorption of knowledge, application, analysis, activity, and assignments. I keep a track of the learning of my students through formative assessment techniques, which is a continuous and comprehensive process. It helps them to attain their learning goals. The summative assessment or the final assessment is built on formative assessments and provides guidance with recommendations for success and subsequent assessments. For holistic learning and all-round and development of a personality, that is the physical, mental, social, and emotional growth of a child, I always encourage my students to participate in various extracurricular activities like sports, performing arts, fine arts, and social service activities. It not only helps them to build their self-confidence and self-esteem, but it also teaches them teamwork and leadership skills. I'm always I always build relationships with my students, and my philosophy is that a teacher must value personality and learning style differences and accommodate them in teaching. I believe a teacher should always use the multiple intelligence theory to create lesson plans and subject related activities. A teacher should also be accessible to students and interact with them actively to understand their issues and resolve them. As I quote a famous line by the Irish poet William Butler Yeats, where he says that education is not the filling of a pot but the lighting of a fire. I agree with him that we should not fill the minds of a child with just information, but spark the light of creativity in them. I also believe that one size fits all theory will not work for all the students when each and everyone is so different and unique. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and critically. The goal of true education is to help children develop their intelligence plus character. As an educator, mentor, and facilitator, I want to be an inspiration for my students. I want them to think big, take risks, and face the challenges of life boldly. They should know that learning never stops and we are all lifelong learners. We should adapt ourselves to the changes taking place around us, as only constant in life is change. During the pandemic all over the world, teachers turned to online teaching in order to stay connected and continue the process of learning. Well, that is my teaching philosophy. Thank you so much. Hello everyone. Let us discuss the components of a good lesson plan. What is a lesson plan? A lesson plan is a predetermined plan of conducting a lesson for the students according to the teacher and is subject specific. It helps to create an effective teaching in the class and fruitful learning by the students when using suitable methods and resources. Why do we need it? A lesson plan helps the educator to break down each lesson into a defined flow with specific classroom activities and gives them a schedule they can stick to. Also, it gives the regular teacher confidence, knowing that the class time is being used effectively. It is a step-by-step guide in maintaining a standard teaching pattern, which also provides teachers with learning objectives, quality questions, supplies, and related activities. How does a lesson plan help a teacher? It helps in the clarity of aims and objectives, usage of appropriate teaching methods, organizing the teaching aids resources needed, assists in completing the syllabus in time. It bifurcates the yearly syllabus across the whole session, where it's divided into half-yearly, next monthly, then weekly, and finally into daily units. Key components of a good lesson. The first thing is that the title or the topic, the name of the lesson or the topic should be mentioned along with the page numbers. Next, the day and date should be written along with the lesson timings, and don't forget to mention the class and grade. It should be clearly mentioned as the objectives differ according to the age of the learner. Prior knowledge. That's the third point. Before beginning the lesson, the teacher can set the stage for the learner by checking the prior knowledge with a few discussion points. Next are the main objectives. Each lesson plan should have a learning goal that can be described as SMART. That is, S for specific, M for measurable, A for attainable, R for relevant, T for time bound. There are certain standards that has to be followed. The plan should be made as per the curriculum of the specific state, board, rule, and standards. Next is sequencing or direct instruction. It explains how the concepts of the lessons will be presented to the students. There will be a beginning, middle, and an end as per the sequence of events. It is a meaningful and logical way to organize the lesson. We also have assessments. It is to know if the learning objectives have been met or not. Various techniques are used, for example, quizzes, direct comprehension, short presentations, group activity, written assignments, and drills. There is guided practice, that is through direct instructions. Students will practice and solve the given assignment or apply the skills that have been taught. Next is independent practice, which has to be done through assignments, which the students will do on their own, and it will demonstrate if the learning outcomes have been met or not. Various materials and resources are needed. The teaching aids or the materials required to achieve objectives of the lesson plan. They are books, stationery items, videos, worksheets, PowerPoint presentations, many more. We have to keep the differentiation in mind. Keeping in mind the diverse learning styles of the students, differentiation of instruction should be included. It should be done through process, content, and assessment. Use of technology for learning should be an added point in order to make the process more interesting and keeping in mind the changes nowadays due to the pandemic. Written assignments and homework. These homework assignments are added for self-assessment and independent practice. It also helps the students to retain the learning and its application. All these points will help you to create a wonderful lesson plan, and thank you for going through this video.